Hi, my name is Lisa Martin, and I'm going to be talking about Provident Living, specifically creating and maintaining a budget. So why should you create a budget? You should create a budget because you deserve to be happy. In fact, you were created to be happy. In 2 Nephi 22 and 25, we learn man is that he might have joy. Now, have you ever gotten cynical and thought, sure, man is that he might have joy in the next life, because this life is difficult and necessarily so. Therefore, this life is pretty much all about the struggle. Well, we've been given the opportunity to have happiness in this life. We've been given doctrines and principles that are guidelines to happiness here in mortality. Provident living is one of those principles. When we learn to live within our means, we are able to access the blessings that are associated with that principle. We're able to have happiness and peace here and now. There's going to be some who hear happiness and budget in the same sentence and think budgeting and happiness have nothing to do not correlate with me. Budgeting sounds difficult, it sounds like work, and it sounds restrictive, and it's not something I want to do. Well, I have identified 4 different benefits from keeping and maintaining a budget that I call the mind, body, and spirit benefits. Now, the first one is accessing blessings. We learn in D&C 130 and 21 that any blessing that we receive from God is by obedience to the law upon which it is predicated. So, as we learn to live within our means, we'll be able to unlock the blessings associated with the principle of provident living. The second thing would be better relationships. There's a pamphlet put out by the church called A Guide to Family Finance, One for the Money. In this pamphlet, we learn that 89% of all divorces can be traced back to financial difficulties. Certainly, there's a correlation between financial difficulties and relationships. And I think if we're intellectually honest, we can all look back to a time when we had some financial stress in our life, and we can realize that maybe we had less patience for spouse and children. Maybe we were less emotionally available for people around us because of that. If we have a budget and we are prepared for emergencies, we can have some peace, which brings us to the third benefit, which is being prepared. And we all know that when we are prepared, we shall not fear. Now, we've talked about mortality and mortality being difficult and necessarily so. It will always have surprises, including financial surprises. So when we're intentional with a budget, we can plan and save for emergencies such as accidents, injuries, and illness. We can also plan for future events such as mission, marriage, education, and retirement. Now, the fourth benefit would be loss prevention. This is your money. You worked hard for this money. You don't want someone to take it from you, and you certainly don't want to have to give it to someone because you were financially irresponsible. So create a budget that includes due dates. Pay your bills on time and don't pay late fees anymore. Also create a budget that includes quickly paying off high interest consumer debt so you don't waste any of your hard-earned money on interest. Hopefully at this point you're thinking, okay, I do need to create a budget and I want to create a budget. Now, creating a budget is going to be easier than you think. There's a lot of different methods for creating a budget. There's the basic spreadsheet method, there's envelope method, and there's a lot of online tools that you can use in order to create a budget. For our purposes today, we're going to use a basic spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet that I have is one that I got out of the pamphlet from the church, Guide to Family Finance. In this sheet, it shows a basic monthly budget. What you would do is you'd put your income here, all the monthly income here, and you'd list all your monthly expenses in this area. You'd add up all your monthly expenses and you'd add up the income. After you've done that, hopefully your income exceeds your expenses. If your expenses are more than your income, then you need to look through your expenses. You need to find out what is unnecessary. You need to take that out of your budget so that you make more than you spend. If you're not making more than you're spending, then you're going to need to use credit cards. When you use credit cards, you accumulate more high interest debt and waste more of your money and make your budget difficult in coming months. Now, sure, creating a budget is going to take some effort, but you are worth it. Benjamin Franklin said that if we fail to plan, we are planning to fail. So plan to succeed. Create and maintain a budget because you were created to have joy. Thank you for your time.